6, 7, 8. Sure can. Hi, Phil. My volume. Hi. I am trying to find. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, you got it.
Great.
I'm Erica.
I'm Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. Nice to meet you. We're gonna share a screen.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Very high tech. I'm just trying to find the link for one of our pupils here
cool.
because we're high tech and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm recording and I'm sure.
Should I be keeping my mouth shut?
No, you're good. Hey, Phil, can you do me a favor? Can you send Chip the link? Phil, Phil left. Phil,
Yes.
can you send Chip the link for the meeting?
Yes,
Thank you so much.
you bet.
Thanks so much. That would help me out tremendously. Thank you so much.
Yep, happy to do it.
Oh, you're good.
Folks usually mostly join virtually.
Yeah. But I try to keep a higher.
Yeah.
So.
I'm fine with that.
That's
That
good.
makes it easy for my first one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's okay. We don't really have anything to really vote on, so we don't need a quorum, so.
Cool.
Do you have it?
I did send it over.
Okay, let me just email him real quick.
Okay,
Okay, let me just do that. There's nothing personal on my computer, so it's fine if you like. You're just gonna see a bunch of homelessness task force emails, so. Okay. Phil.
Keep all the bribes and kickbacks.
Yeah, yeah. Phil just sent it. Okay. Yeah, it's totally on a different encrypted computer because that's how high tech I am. I'm just gonna wait for a couple more minutes. I don't think we're gonna need a quorum until being the holiday. That's all right. See if it did. Email me that you might not make it.
That's the Jeopardy team.
There's Chip.
well, Chip's there. Hmm. Mhm. Wow. Um,
Oh, we do have a quorum.
all right.
All right. So welcome, everybody. So I'm going to do a quick round for one new member. To my right, we're sharing a screen. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm not hearing a thing you're saying.
We're gonna yell really loudly.
Okay, just so you know, yeah. It's not like even there's a faint voice, it's just nothing except, okay.
Hi.
All right, Phil, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. So whenever
You can't hear me?
Now I can. I couldn't before.
Oh, bizarre. Okay. Well, hi, nice to meet everybody. Don't have a ton to say by way of introduction, but looking to help out any way I can. That's about it.
Okay. So now we have that. We'll just face the computer as we need. How's that? Tiff, do you want to go ahead?
Did you just say Chip?
Yes.
Okay. I can't see anybody or anything, but at least I hear your voice. What am I doing?
And just a brief intro, just Chip Castle Task Force.
Hi, it's Chip Castle, the task force.
Phil?
Hi, Phil Morris. I'm on the task force. I volunteered for the Good Samaritan Haven and various feeding programs, probably for the past 30 years in Barre.
And Miriam?
Hi, my name is Miriam. I use she, they pronouns. I'm new to the task force. I work with homeless people.
And our liaison, Brooke?
Good evening. So got the outreach specialist for your city.
Thanks, Brooke. For those who didn't hear, Brooke is our liaison for Barre City and she works for Barre City Police. So welcome, y'all. I apologize. I don't know why I'm really tired and I broke my foot on Monday, so I'm kind of tired and a little bit in pain. So we're gonna get this party started. So I am going to flip screen and I am looking for the agenda. I had it up here a minute ago. Hold on one sec. All right. Well, we're just gonna wing the agenda. So do we have everybody read the minutes from agenda that oh, thank you, Miriam. You are awesome. Thank you for putting it in the chat. That helps me out a ton. So we have a call to order adjustments to the agenda. Any adjustments? Oh,
I'm not sure if this is an adjustment to the agenda or if it falls in one of those categories. But I was thinking at this meeting, maybe it'd be useful if we set some goals. And that if we discussed keeping essentially tabs on the state because they made all these promises about what they would be doing for the people who are still in motels, as far as helping them find places to live, connecting them with services. And I don't know how we would keep tabs on that, but I kind of look on this as an opportunity where everything was going to fall apart and it didn't.
Um,
So I
oh,
don't know if it falls in a category on the agenda or not.
no, that's great. And Jeremy just logged in on his phone, so we didn't have to share a screen anymore. So that's actually a great thing. And another thing for that for goal setting is I had a notes, also winter planning.
Mhm.
I know it's July and it's 88 degrees outside, but winter comes fast.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Erica. I've been thinking about it too.
So, yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Phil. And Jeremy, do you please check, we're very informal here, so, you know, raise your hand, or if you have any. That's okay. So winter planning, you know, that could be another goal setting. So that's great. If for adjustments, we could look at you know, some goal setting.
Okay.
So you're gonna have me in stereo, Jeremy, if you don't put it on mute.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, you got it. Let's keep going.
So yeah, we can put, like, I don't know if we want to add that to agenda or, you know, discussion at the end or what. So anything else, we could put that as like a discussion, or, you know, put that at the end of the agenda. Because we do have some other things to talk about as well. So let me get to, I am not really great with, I'm a kind of a Luddite when it comes to technology, so I'm trying to get to the chat again. So any, we want to move probably a discussion at the end of the agenda. So thanks for bringing it up, Phil.
Okay.
Any public comment? I know we had Samantha join us. Samantha, do you have any public comment, or you just want to chime in whenever? Because we always have time for that.
I will just chime in whenever.
Okay, sounds great.
You know me, I don't tend to keep my mouth shut, so.
All good, all good. And we welcome that. So everybody read the minutes from the previous meeting that Phil put together? I see, for those I can see, people are nodding. So we have a quorum, so we want to vote on that. Anybody want to vote to approve those?
I will, Chip.
Okay, anybody?
Sure.
We have a second from Jeremy. All in favor, raise hand, or yay, we voted.
Hi.
Okay, we're gonna pass those. All right, awesome. So I'm going to put Brooke on the spot for a couple minutes and have an update from what's going on with the hotels and the summit, if that's okay with you, Brooke.
Sure. Just as far as the summit goes, can you guys hear me better? Because I switched
Yes.
to my phone. Okay, so I switched to my phone. So as far as the summit, I feel like they kind of like just got rid of it once they knew that the people would be extended to stay until April. So yeah, I mean, so I personally, as far as my role at the Barre City PD, like we're having people like kind of trickle in, but it's not, it's kind of like the normal, I don't know, the normal number of people I'm seeing. It's not that rush of what we were expecting for July 1, but it totally like, so now that I feel like people feel like the urgency is off, they're like, oh, let's take a break for a few months. And I'm like, oh, lovely. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
So
But
go ahead, Brooke.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say, but we did get, Capstone did get approved for the porta potties and the ice machines. So, they're gonna be looking for me to ask you guys about 5 locations for porta potties within the city for 2 months, though. I think
For
is what
2
it is.
months.
Yeah.
So what, do we have a guesstimate about when when they're gonna be brought in?
Well, I was pulling up that email as because I figured you'd ask me. So pulling up the email, and I think it's gonna be sooner than later because we are meeting next Thursday, the city in Capstone, and they I think as soon as we could give them those locations, I think it'd be in the next few weeks.
Next few weeks?
Yes. I'm looking. But yeah.
Miriam, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I thought we did pick locations. Didn't we talk about that?
We did, you are correct. We had 3 locations. One was the BOR.
Okay.
One was Church Street. Somewhere along those, for those that are not as familiar, for Church Street, that's City Hall Park, naked guy statue. And then we had Merchants Row, which is behind City Hall, because we had to be blunt, problem peers behind there. I'm just sorry, I'm typing, walking and chewing bubblegum at the same time. So those were our 3, because we originally we had 3 locations. And then Samantha had the idea of the bike path. And then I'm gonna throw a shot in the dark and say like Playground 2000, because I was there recently and there was no place to go to the bathroom.
I was there for a birthday party last weekend and the bathrooms were unlocked.
Unlocked?
Yeah, I don't know if that's just during the day, but people were going to the bathroom during the day. And there is a porta potty over at Rotary Park over there.
Okay. So I'm gonna,
So,
yeah. So we have the bike path, the BOR, Church Street, Merchant Street, sorry, not Merchant Street, Merchants Row.
those all seem like they're clustered kind of in the center or south end. Is there anything on the north end? Like along, maybe behind Dollar General or over by, North End Cumbies or somewhere over in that vicinity where people are kind of coming up from the river?
Ooh, Dollar General seems like a good idea to me.
I would
You know what I
second
mean? Just so
that.
they're not all clustered down at this, in the city. But more people coming from Berlin Way, coming from the North End, coming from. I got your wheels turning. I can see them, Erica. What are you thinking? Is that a bad?
I'm
Is that
thinking,
a bad idea?
I'm thinking Dollar General behind
And I
Dollar.
know, yeah, and I know that Humvees has a 24-hour bathroom, but I don't know.
Yeah. Phil, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we were thinking the BOR when we thought people might be camping. So I don't know if we want to keep that in the mix. Because it's kind of out of the way. And you have to schlep all the way up that hill. And I think Samantha's right. I was thinking something on the north end. And then maybe do we want to go farther south?
Yeah, I don't know how far south.
Yeah, between Playground 2000 and the south, I don't know. Maybe in
So
the
I'm-
Wall complex, if we could do that.
So I'm thinking definitely the Dollar General area. I mean, I'm putting things down on paper, and then not on paper, but on whatever. And then I can, as you all know, I can be vetoed at any time. This is a task force. It's not a dictatorship. So if we don't want the BOR, and I'm you're right, you know, people don't want to schlep all the way up there to go to the bathroom. I certainly wouldn't. Any
Yeah,
other?
I mean, what, is there anything, I don't know, down by the Granite Museum?
Ooh, that's a good idea. I see
And-
Jeremy's.
And I don't know, maybe I'm just unignorant, because I am. I don't know where people are actually camping. I just know that I see people, you know, in my drives back and forth all damn day. I see people kind of coming in and out of the woods and along the river down that direction. And that keeps it in the city, but away from any other public toilet.
Miriam, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was agreeing with Dollar General and also something further down on the south end as well. I'm trying, maybe, I guess, the Wall Street complex, like you were saying, but I'm not sure that, like, there just isn't really a great space down there. I'm not sure.
Bill?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I've seen a new group of people at that old Green Mountain Power brick building, sort of on the corner of Granite Street and North Main Street, kind of right across from the Beverage Baron and sort of Dente's.
I know exactly what,
And
yeah, I know.
assume they're coming up from the river. It's like a group of maybe 6 or 7 people on different occasions. There was a collection of shopping carts on the corner for a while. So I mean, for what that's worth, I don't know if it tells us.
No, every thinking thought that people have is great. And where I'm seeing folks is the underpass by Granite Street and River Street. There's a little cutoff. I think that's the area you're thinking of.
Mhm.
Right before you hit the Restore and the Labor Hall, that,
I think you're right about that, but the one I'm
Yeah.
talking about is closer to Main Street.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that might be a good strip. Jeremy, do you have any thoughts?
That. Oh, yeah, I was thinking like between there and like, Coffee Miles. Anywhere in there.
Miriam, your hand's up again.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe we can ask Brooke if there are any places that anyone's complained of, like public urination or you know, or if there's places we know that people go to the bathroom. I don't know if there's like been police contact or something.
So Brooke put in the chat, they call it the beach. And we've talked about the beach before.
Yes. Is that where you guys are talking about with the shopping
Yeah,
carts?
yeah,
and beverage?
exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we kind of go down there frequently because there's not supposed to be any trespassing. So I've gone down there with officers. We have a recovery coach that we share between us and Montpelier, and I know Mark has gone down with officers. So we're trying to reach out to that area. Yeah. So that's kind of all I have for that. But as far as the public any public urination or whatnot, was the only stuff I knew about, excuse me, was by City Hall. Thank you.
So maybe if we put something along that strip, because if people are hanging out there, they're definitely going to the bathroom there. I'm just thinking, that's my thought.
The only problem, I mean, again, I think that would make a lot of sense. I just know that we are trying to give people warnings not to hang out down there and no trespass them, but there's a good possibility that if there's problems down there, then we as the police department will start no trespassing people because the city does not own that area.
Which area in particular is that? Like what's just like right in front of the building or?
Yeah, like right where people walk down and hang out by the river and go swimming and drink and just hang out.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were still talking about the beach.
Oh, sorry, that's where I was sorry, because I was just thinking about like if we put a porta potty there, if that would encourage people even more to be there as we're trying to discourage them.
Well, I think it does sort of kind of tacitly imply it's okay if you're saying don't do it, then you put a porta potty there. So
But I
it's
think-
fine.
Yeah,
Well, we're saying don't do it publicly. And that's a problem, like if there isn't a place to go. I mean, personally, I'd rather have a porta potty if I were a person who was being sheltered there or sheltering there. You know, I would rather have the porta potty than have to go outside
Mhm.
because it is more sanitary.
And
and
I'm
private.
also thinking, yeah, I'm also thinking of the people that just walk, their dogs or walk generally that, sometimes have to go to the bathroom. Porta potties aren't just for folks that are,
Mhm.
unhoused, they're for everybody.
I don't know who the property owner is either. If I were them, I would rather people use porta potty than my land. But
But I mean, if it's an issue, I mean, we don't have to put a porta potty there. I mean, we could put a porta potty near there, on that strip. And, it's not encouraging anybody to use anything but a porta potty. But that's just my 2 cents.
And I'll tell them to put them wherever, or our suggestion is to put them wherever you all tell me we think is best. I was just thinking out loud.
No, we appreciate it. I mean, I'm just thinking, if we say the vicinity of, say, Granite Street, and then people might, in turn say, okay, we don't have to put it near the beach. We could just say Granite Street. Does that make sense?
It
It does
does
to
for
me.
me. Yep.
Okay.
So then,
All
Brooke, I have a question. Is the way this is going to work is Capstone will go to the city with our suggestions and then the city will approve them?
Brooke?
I really don't have an answer for that because
Okay.
I mean, the way Nick made it sound was actually that I would get the suggestions today or whenever we agree on them, and then I would present them on the following Thursday to Capstone and the city. So I was kind of thinking like the city's, and maybe I'm assuming, so it could very well be, but it made it sound like wherever we came up with was kind of what was going to happen.
Okay.
But I could be way wrong. But that's the way, I mean, because Nick said Brooke will come with the suggestions from the task force.
Okay.
Miriam, you have a question?
Yeah, I feel like, again, we already did that. And I'm like trying to look up the minutes from like the last city council meeting we were at, because I feel like we had a special meeting where we chose those locations. And then I think I remember giving them to Nick because we had the question about if we had 3 or 5 and they told us we had 10 or something. Am I wrong? I mean, I could be wrong, but I honestly feel like we did all this.
We did the porta potties, but we didn't do the ice machine. The ice machine,
Ice machine.
the ice machine was gonna go up at the BOR if the BOR was gonna be open up for the shelter. But now the BOR, I guess, is nixed off the table because that was not gonna be the shelter if whatever happens. So now we're gonna get an ice machine, and now I'm a little unsure what this ice machine, is it gonna be a refrigerator or is it gonna be just dispensing ice?
That seems so unsanitary from like a food safety perspective. Like,
Yeah,
is
that
this
seems
just
like
gonna
a
be like a
really
big
good idea.
commercial ice machine? And people are just gonna be digging in there? I mean, or is it gonna be bagged ice or what's what's up with that?
Yeah, and just like sitting outdoors somewhere, like that's weird.
Well, I mean, I've worked in enough restaurants in my day that, you know, a commercial ice machine is just this big thing where, you know, you got 200 pounds of ice in there or whatever. Are people just going to be expected to be digging in there with their bare hands? Is it going to be pre-bagged? Like, that seems like a sanitation issue if it's just a big bucket of, you know, a big ice maker making ice. Versus pre-bagged ice that people can take,
So,
you know?
yeah, that's what I'm unclear of what the ice machine is, Brooke.
And honestly, I'm picturing it. So this is the email of like what they got, and it just says that they can purchase one. So it just sounds like a normal, like a restaurant ice machine. So we'll have to move forward with just one based on the amount of the grant. There'll be some electrical work as well. So I suggest budgeting 6,500. And then they suggested the public safety building, since it's open 24/7. But that's all it says about it. So I think I think it's just a standard ice machine. So I know when we were talking about it in the summit and stuff, and I don't think we were thinking about the sanitation part of it. We were thinking people trying to keep their food cold and their water cold and like having access that way.
For sure, there's a legit need for ice, but I wouldn't want to keep my water cold with the same ice that people are, especially people that don't have regular access to hand washing facilities, are digging through to fill up their own water bottles. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're just going to make a bunch of people sick if there's not a better way to contain the ice.
Is it not possible this could be like a hotel style dispenser? That, you know? like a
Maybe
separate
I
dispenser?
I don't know if Nickel responds right now, but I can try texting Nicholas and asking him.
Like in a soda fountain, that kind of ice machine where you have to push it and then it comes out, whereas versus
Exactly,
a,
yeah.
Like we have on our refrigerators.
Yeah.
right, versus an actual restaurant / commercial ice machine where it's this big vat of ice that's continuously being made. Like, that seems
Well-
at least slightly more sanitary.
Well, not only that, I have concerns like other health concerns. If it's not, staffed, or, somebody's not cleaning it out
Right.
regularly. And also if it's at the public safety building, people, this is not an easy hill for people to get to if they don't have transport. No buses come up here. And also, it's not easy, sometimes it's not easy for folks, where's it gonna be stationed? I mean, coming in here for, a meeting, you have to, come in through security and whatnot. And sometimes, people have weapons on them if they're unhoused. I mean, not for sake of judging them, it's just for protection of them.
Hell, I'm
themselves.
housed and carry a weapon. I think that's a proper thing to do to keep us all safe. I think that, and there's plenty of those people that wouldn't even want to go to the public safety building to get anything. I think that is a concern, that a lot of them wouldn't even be able to utilize that resource because they wouldn't feel comfortable going into the police station to get it.
And sorry, I feel I see your hand, but I'm just gonna go on my little soapbox for a minute. That's also a concern with the Montpelier task force, is that they wanted to utilize their police station for things, and a lot of folks didn't want to go to the police station. Sorry, Phil, go ahead. I'm sorry. I went on a soapbox for a
No,
minute.
it's fine. I just had two thoughts. We need to find out if it's going to be a healthy thing to do. And then I was thinking we could talk to enough ministries, because they have that food shelf back there and they do breakfasts. And if it's a machine that could be put outside, maybe we could put it out there with, because people go for the food shelf, there's a clothing shelf. The churches take breakfast down every morning, Monday through Friday. It's close to the downtown. It's not up any big hills. So I mean, that would be one possibility. It's kind of centrally located.
And also a lot of folks already know enough ministries, so it's a trusted resource. And Pastor
Yeah, I
Dan,
agree.
yeah, Pastor Dan is a very good person, and people already know him and trust him. It's not anything against our public safety officers. It's just, anyway, sorry.
So maybe
Okay.
that would be our recommendation. If they address the sanitation issues, then we would recommend they put it there.
That's everybody in agreement to that? Is that a
Sure.
good? All
Yes.
right.
So do we
All
want to
right.
make, do we need to make,
can-
can I
What?
finish one quick thing?
Yeah, sure.
Do we need to make these as motions, or do you want me to continue to record them as recommendations?
I think we'll record them as recommendations.
Okay.
Samantha, you had a quick thing?
Yeah, so is there gonna be like plastic bags available for people to bag the ice and take it with them or things like that? Or are they expected to bring their own container?
Good question.
Probably to be determined. I mean,
Okay.
that would kind of all fall under sanitation, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of general like
Yeah.
basic hygiene issues. You know what I mean? Like
No, I agree. I agree completely.
I
Yeah.
just don't want an entire already difficult demographic to then have the stomach bug all summer long. Like that would just be awful.
Absolutely.
So-
No, it was set to be at the police department. Nicholas said, Joe Ainsworth has specific, but he's on vacation. So Brooke, our recommendation is that not the police department. It's not centralized. People can't access it. And, yeah, we need more specific, we would really want it to be more centralized in a place where people are already accessing services like enough ministries. I think that's our recommendation.
And I think that was, sorry, I just, for some reason, I'm trying to look at my email, like respond to you guys and try to figure out how to raise my hand and I can't, or whatever, quickly from my phone. So I just keep adding it into the chart. But I think that Enough Ministries is a fabulous idea. And honestly, like it would already be hooked up for electricity. So that might even saving some time and getting it set up. If they already have electricity, maybe they just need to, I don't know, adjust it, but it won't be like starting brand new with a new electrical outlet or whatnot. So
Yeah, and yeah. And oops, I don't know what I just did in my computer. Hold on, I almost lost you guys. All right.
Oh.
So good updates, good conversation. So I guess that concludes our updates on the city response to our questions. And an update on city response to homelessness. The city has really, I'm just gonna do a quick, and Brooke, please interrupt me. The city response to the homelessness is, live and let live, unless there's some hygienic or some reason the city needs to respond to folks that are camping. Are there any other updates we should be aware of? No?
no, so Nick did just send me a picture of it and I was trying to include it into the chat. So it does look like a big commercial restaurant style ice machine.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very hygienic. Not to be a poop,
So if that's the case, is there any way that it could be scooped and bagged for people and like ready to just grab?
What, so is that something we would be putting on Enough Ministries though, to be scooping and bagging the ice? And then it probably wouldn't be available 24/7 either.
no, but if it's available I mean, I just, if we look at all the case, just hygienic reasons, I mean, I wouldn't want, it wouldn't be available 24/7 at the police station either. I mean, it's just that there's a lot of hygiene concerns and how it's going to be cleaned and et cetera, what,
Yep.
how, there's
But
so many sanitation issues.
Oh, absolutely. I just meant as far as, like if someone's like providing or like scooping ice and bagging it. But I mean, if it was, which we vetoed, and I totally understand why, because a lot of people don't want to go to the police station. But that would be open 24/7. I think that'd be the only positive about it. But yeah, because a lot of people really don't want to go to the PD, in all
Mhm.
fairness.
Hmm.
So we're kind of at an impasse with an ice machine because it's not really hygienic or,
Has that been ordered? Is that for sure the one that he was thinking, or is that just the game plan? Like, is it too late to order one that dispenses it? Like you put a
I think it
container in.
was,
I
Yeah,
don't
the
think it's. Sorry.
Okay, can we
I don't
let Brooke speak, please?
I don't think it's too late to let them know. However, that might change like how much it costs and that stuff, where they already got the money from the state for this specific one. But if they don't need to install electrical, that'd be saving them money. I mean, I just don't know the difference. So I think that was just something I can email or I'll text Nicholas right now and then have him look tomorrow.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
That'd be great, Brooke. Thank you.
And then that way I'll share all of our concerns about sanitation and everything else.
Thank you, Brooke. I appreciate it. All right. So we have about 15 minutes left. That was a great discussion, and thank you so much, Brooke, for doing that for us and emailing Nick. And also, if Nick has any concerns, he knows how to get in touch with me very well. So let's move on to goal setting and future planning. And I'm going to look at my notes. So Phil brought up like keeping tabs on the state. It's what the state is doing is it's kind of hard to keep tabs on the state. As Brooke pointed out, the summits, for those of you not familiar with the summits were the Montpelier, Barre, and Berlin were having some, we had this big scare that a lot of folks were going to be exited from the hotels very, very fast. So they're all getting together and talking to each other, but they kind of petered out. So then the state, the state changes its mind every 5 minutes about what's going to happen to the homeless. So how do we keep tabs on them? Good question. We don't know. So what's a way that we can brainstorm together? How do we keep tabs on what's going on with the crisis? I mean, this is going to be a crisis that's going to be around forever, unfortunately. How do we keep tabs and keep up on what's going on? Because things are going to change, tomorrow.
Chip
So
here.
Chip, go ahead.
Well, one thing that I would suggest, I mean, I've been all through H-171 and it's about as vague as a bill could have been written. But there is different responsibilities for different agencies. And most
Okay,
of them
Chip,
would on the welfare off.
I'm gonna jargon bust. What's H-171?
That's the bill that finally passed that directs a lot of initiatives at homelessness, and in particular, this eviction process. So it's the bill that extended the thing through whatever, April,
Mhm.
whatever, and it appropriates money mostly from Housing Conservation Board. It has lots of different initiatives in it. I mean, I can send that out to folks. It's pretty long if you were going to print it, but I summarized it kind of a little bit here and there from the idea of using manufactured homes and trailers. I'm interested in pursuing stuff like that with some legislators I've been working with.
Okay. So the bill, as far as I understand, only works with folks that are still in the hotel program,
Yes,
not folks that have been exited already or newly homeless.
right. Not the first wave. The other thing I don't understand is the state's voucher program ends pretty much in August, which, you know, you got a ton of people that have had their rent paid in private apartment situations for quite some time now. And they're phasing the program out. So I think people had like 6 months of it each or something of that nature. I can't remember how long they let them stay on it, but after that, that program is gone. So
I've got a handful of tenants that their vouchers are expiring at the end of this month, and they're on their
Right.
own for August, and nobody's got a
Exactly.
plan of how they're paying their rent, you know, with the $600 a month reach up grant. So
So
I'm a little surprised that those ones just kind of ended. There was always, in the past anyway, for temporary vouchers, they've always just kind of continued until there was a permanent one in place.
yeah, well, that's coming to an end too. So anyway, but back to the initial question of how do we keep the state's, you know, feet to the fire? We might look in that bill and we might try to have somebody be a contact with us who has some authority in the state to oversee this stuff. So it's not called social welfare. Families and children,
Okay.
DCA, I think is one of the main characters that's supposed to be out there and working with household by household. Once they give them an option, if they refuse the option, then they're not going to play anymore. So it's kind of forced into situations and stuff that some of us aren't going to like. But you know, there are implications of how that money needs to be spent and who is responsible for it. They have to report back to the legislature on how many of the, I don't know how many, let's say it's 185 households, how many of the 185 households were served this month and have gotten out of the hotel and are living somewhere. So I think mainly the contacts at DCF, we could hold their feet to the fire and help them actually, if we could.
Bill, I saw your hand up, but you took it down. Do you saw that question?
Well, I think Chip, he answered my two questions about who exactly we would hold accountable. And I thought it would fall under the Agency of Human Services, but then DCF. So that's what I was looking for. And then I think like the final piece of what Chip was saying about the voucher system with helping with rent is that we're probably looking at a whole new group of evictions there. Is that where you were going, Chip?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I kind of thought that was the final sentence, but yeah, I think you kind of got chopped off there. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be compounding the problem. Okay.
Yeah, and from a landlord's perspective, there's a lot of tenants who only had the VRAP or the reach up emergency rental assistance paying the rent. And I know a handful of landlords that have already, you know, threatened to file an eviction, have started the process because that money ran out with no contingency plan. So is there a way, I know that S-171 kind of said if you're out of the hotels, you're out of the hotels, but is there any plan to recapture all of those people that left when they were, you know, quote unquote, supposed to, before the state said they could stay?
No, because the short answer is no, because we a lot of folks left because they were told you had to leave, so they just left. And well, you're homeless, so you don't really leave a forwarding address. So we don't know where a lot of those folks went. Some folks went out of state, some folks went to stay with relatives, some folks went camping. We don't, we don't know where a lot of those folks went. There was no way to really keep tabs on them.
Specifically in the bill, those people are excluded from any help.
Mhm.
It's right in the bill. That first wave that got evicted or exited, they're not worried about them.
Right, and I
Um,
just mean from a more practical standpoint, not the extension of all these benefits, but I mean from a practical standpoint, is there any way to recapture them? Is there any way to make contact with them? I mean, a lot of these families had children and left and are just kind of out there floundering.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you read the H-171, the intent was to help the most vulnerable. So they're talking elders, adults with disabilities. It didn't even really mention low-income families with children, but it may have referred to them as part of the vulnerable population, I hope. In other words, those guys that are already out there, we don't think they're vulnerable. You know, the program H-171 and the resources gobbled up, let's say, from various parts of the state. That's intended for the people that are still there now, and to go through household by household. So they're going to have to concentrate on the ones they have now. If they've been paying rent for this first wave for 2 years or 3 years, you'd think you'd know who they are. I may not know where they are, but you know who they are. Or the state does anyway.
So that could be like an unanswered question, and maybe I can ask, see if there's a way to figure out if they're, it never hurts to ask. So I'm gonna write this down as a note for homework for myself. Recapture folks. So we are coming up to that marvelous time because we are such good people, and I don't like to keep folks on because then I have to. So I'm going to move planning for winter for next agenda item, put at the top of the agenda for next. Phil, if you could put that in notes. We are going to meet in August. I'm going to hold our feet to the fire. Chip, if you could send that bill out to the group, that would be wonderful, because I'm sure we're all want to read it.
Well, send
And I'm
the-
Chip, sorry. And I'm sure we all want to get even more riled up than we already are. Brooke, if you want to talk to me further on the ice machines and whatnot, please let me know. You know how to get a hold of me.
Yes, thank you. I just sent an email. Nick has it. You have it, and Sue Mentor has it. So
Awesome,
set.
awesome, awesome. So our next meeting date, who has that wonderful calendar? Do flicker. I believe it's the 2nd. If my brain is going to work.
Ooh.
If that's the first Wednesday in August, then yes, it's the 2nd.
Thank you, Miriam. I so do miss working with you.
Right back at you.
So yes, the 2nd. Same time, same location. Oops, for some reason I went into September. I went into the wrong. I think I'm the only one that still uses paper calendar. Wednesday the 2nd. So I will see you all back here. If you need to get in touch with me, you know how to do that. Thank you all for all the work you do. As always, it's a pleasure. Thank you all, and please stay warm. All
Thank
All right.
you, Erica.
Thank
right,
you.
bye y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Wow.
everyone. Good.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.